Every now and then I download an idle game and I play it for a few weeks. I think this all started with the social game Farmville. I enjoyed the concept of a game progressing while I was away and coming back to see how it's going. It's something that didn't really exist on other platforms. Yes, MMOs like RuneScape existed back in the day where characters were always progressing even when I was not on the game, but it was not my own character. Then as time went on, idle games started to progress, and they took that progression away from the keyboard and just put it on steroids. I think a big reason these games attract my interest is simply the simplistic gameplay, the casual atmosphere. These games really focus on just numbers getting bigger. It's like the game is just constantly rewarding you, but usually with almost no way to lose. They're low pressure, so if you just stop progressing, you usually can just reset one of these games, but keep some sort of upgrade or advanced currency so you can progress further and faster the next time. And that's something a lot of modern games I feel like just don't have. Modern games are consistently making me feel the need to be making progress at all times, or I'm EXP wasting. And I know that's not a healthy way to play a game at all. I think a big part of this was RuneScape over the years. At first, it was just a casual game I would play with friends. I'd spend hours standing around doing nothing, just enjoying being in the game. But as the years went on, and I got older, and YouTube, and all sorts of other ways to experience content, it felt like I had to constantly maximize what I was doing in the game. So in contrast to an idle game where I'm not constantly trying to maximize an experience per hour, and can instead just check in every once in a while, it's nice. It lets games be a more relaxing event. The thing is, though, these games usually don't last long in my rotation. I think my idle game fixation started around 2017, where I came across a game called Crazy Taxi Idle Tycoon, or something along those lines. I was searching my iPhone for a mobile Crazy Taxi game. I figured that had to exist. And I found this, and it hung around in my rotation for about a week or two. It was pretty simple. You recruited new drivers in each level and upgraded them to recruit more drivers and make more money, and then eventually you didn't make enough to recruit the next one, and you just started the game over, but now recruited them faster. At the time, the only other game on my phone was Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes and probably Clash of Clans. And so this was something I could jump in and just enjoy the simplicity of without trying to compete against other people. Shortly after this, my mobile gameplay time changed. RuneScape, MapleStory, other MMOs started coming out on iPhone, and it was a while before I went looking for another idle game. Over the years, I tried games like Idle Dino Park Tycoon, where I would try to fill the nostalgia of playing the original, or other games like Idle Mafia, Idle Baseball Manager Tycoon, and various other games have made their way onto my iPhone. Obviously, none of these games have lasted. And then one day, I was scrolling through the free Nintendo Switch games and downloaded Idle Champions of the Forgotten Realms. Now, I've never played D&D before, so I had no idea who these characters were. In the first hour, I thought, this will be deleted soon. Then I started the next adventure, and the next adventure. And here we are, hundreds of hours later, having kept the game open on my Switch. I've played it for months, and I just keep coming back. Now, I do think a big part of the reason this stayed in my rotation was that it was on my Switch and not my phone. And now, I understand this game is very big on the computer scene, that's where it began, and I could see how this would be a very good game to have running in the background as you do other things on your computer. I just don't think it would have lasted as long as on my phone. It runs very smooth as a background game that you check every now and then and upgrade your characters as you go. But on the Switch, it runs well enough to give me a fun time, or I can have it open on the Switch while I do other chores and just peek on it every now and then. In the game, each adventure has a story. Each little area has a little bit of what I assume is the D&D part. So you clear a level by saying killing 25 enemies, and it gives you a piece of story and the objective for the next level. Gold accumulated within each level is used to level the hero selected at that time. When you've completed an adventure and start another, everyone starts over at level 1, but the gear and the passive abilities you've equipped carry over. Additionally, each adventure you complete within a campaign gives you a currency that can be spent on different bonuses within that campaign. Or you can hold it and it becomes a multiplier for how much gold you accumulate within the next campaign, so that you can upgrade your heroes faster and higher to progress further and acquire more currency for more upgrades. Each campaign has their own currency, and only some of the rewards from each campaign carry over between the others. At its core, this is a clicker game. You can eventually automate almost everything. With that being said, there are some pay-to-win mechanics in this game. Since this is a solo game, that's not 100% necessary. Yes, you can fully automate this game for, I'm not going to guess a figure, but, a substantial amount of money immediately off the bat, because you can just buy these pets that click for you. And the more you have, the more you can automate. So you can have 6 clickers dealing damage, 1 upgrading the damage of the clickers, and then 1 dealing ultimate attacks for your heroes, and maybe even more upgrading your heroes. The list goes on. So I started this game out spending no money. I didn't think it would last in my rotation. After about 50 hours of playing for free, I saw a pet come across on a sale for like $1.99 or $2.99. It was something that I thought, I've already put 50 hours into this. What's $3? So I didn't mind spending the money. It was a way to make the game more enjoyable for me. I could automate more of it and enjoy that dopamine hit of the progress growing that much faster. But you don't have to spend any money on it. In fact, you can use gems accumulated in the game by defeating bosses and adventure to acquire more pets. And once I got a few more, the game became considerably easier. Like I said, 6 pets allows you to completely automate your clicking. The 7th lets you upgrade the clicking. And then everything else is just fun on top of that until you start trying to work out to having 2 parties, and then you will need to acquire more pets. Doing this free-to-play will take a considerable amount of time, but if you spread your purchases over time, if you choose to do that, you can wait for pets to go on sale, and they do once every few weeks. Not every pet, but one at a time, and you can add to your collection. The game starts out with limited heroes, but you can acquire them pretty easily through events or through this thing called the Time Gate. And the Time Gate was something that took me a while to figure out, but basically you get these pieces and you use them to open up old event characters, and you complete an adventure to unlock the character and 2 more runs to unlock some gear for them. This is a way to fill out your squads, and you definitely need to do this to build team variety, especially as you build into using multiple teams. This is a free-to-play addition to the game also. You collect these Time Gate pieces through various adventures over the course of the game, and every few weeks you get a free Time Gate where you can get randomized heroes. You get a choice of 3 that you can unlock for free. So it's something you definitely need to watch out for. I spent months of this game not understanding or even looking at this feature because I figured it was probably just something for the end game, and I missed out the chance to unlock multiple heroes for free that I've been amassing over the last few months. And then there are limited time events. They last about 2 weeks, and you can complete special adventures to unlock heroes and gear them out. These are must play to unlock more characters for free. I haven't paid a single dollar to unlock an actual hero in this game, and now I have multiple heroes at every spot within the game. And these limited run events usually release 3 heroes at a time, so if you're new to the game, you'll need all of them. I assume from reading that one of them is usually a new character and 2 are coming back from previous seasons, so the more experienced players are just using this to gear out their characters that they've already acquired. And then you can gear out your heroes. The gear carries over from adventure to adventure, as do the levels on the gear. You do this via free chests found in adventures or events, and then there's chests you can buy with gems, and chests you can purchase through your own finances. However, I have not spent any real money gearing out a hero yet. Every weekend you get emailed a free code for a free chest, and if you check via internet streams or there's a website that acquires all these codes, the game releases free chests almost every day. You just have to go find them, and then you type them in. On the computer, it's probably very easy. When I briefly had the game on my iPhone, it was very easy. With broken Joy-Cons, I find it very annoying to put these codes in on the Switch, so I have not done very many of them. And that pretty much covers most of the game. Yeah, you can eventually get to a point, as I mentioned, where you run multiple parties at the same time, and there's ways to modify these parties. There's also a Patreon system that has added challenges and rewards, but by the time you get to doing those modes, you'll probably have most of this figured out on your own. And I said this game wasn't too complex, but the more I explain it, I realized the game modes kind of upgrade over time, so they seemed simpler to me when I started writing this, but if you just jump in head first and try to take on all this at once, it'll probably seem overwhelming and feel like the game wants you to spend money, but you really don't need to enjoy it. The glorious thing about this game is getting to that next high level, to the thousands, where you can acquire that next passive ability, and then you just restart, and the next time you restart, it just feels so much easier. Because instead of getting stuck at level 10 and 20 and 30, you've now jumped up to level 140 and unlocked a new ability right off the start, and it just rolls. And I'd say the most important thing to remember is this is a solo idle game. You're not competing against anyone, so don't let the limited time event stress get to you. Just enjoy the journey. This game does also have season modes with quests where you can unlock more gear, passive abilities throughout the season that will allow you to progress through the adventures at an expedited rate. And I've been having so much fun with this game over the last few months and spent so much time into this. When I say time, I'm not sure how much I've actually spent. The Switch tells me how long the game's been open. Most of the time the game is open, it's sitting next to me while I'm watching Netflix, or while I'm playing PlayStation, or while I'm cleaning my house, or even mowing my lawn, and I'll just check in on it every now and then. But I felt like I was enjoying it so much, I went ahead and bought the season pass. And if you go on Reddit, you'll see people complain that season passes get worse and worse year over year. For me, I had never used the season pass before, and the characters I got from this season over the summer are now some of the strongest I have within the game. And that's pretty much the gist of the game, but to me, it's become pretty fun. Over the last 300 some hours I've put into this, I've actually started to care about some of the characters. I went from someone who didn't know anything about D&D to someone who would be Googling what these characters were and what their backstories are. Jaraxxle has become one of my favorite characters over the run of this game because of the way it allows me to acquire gold. And I went and looked him up. He's a flamboyant and charismatic character, known for his stylish clothes and his love of intrigue. He's a skilled warrior and master of disguise. He's often described as being 2 steps ahead of everyone else, and his plans are often complex and multi-layered. He's a Drow mercenary and leader of the Bergan Diathia mercenary company in the Forgotten Realms campaign setting of Dungeons & Dragons. He is a complex and morally ambiguous character, which is the type of character I love to play in video games. He is not above using violence or deception to achieve his goals, and he also has a strong sense of honor and justice. He is a friend of Drizzt Do'Urden and has helped the Champions of the Hall on several occasions. His ultimate goals are unknown, but he seems to be working towards a future where Drow and surface dwellers can coexist peacefully. He's a powerful and influential figure, and his actions could have major impacts on the future of the Forgotten Realms. I mean, that's a lot. This went just from a character that helped me to acquire gold, to the more I read about him, I was like, this guy's kind of fun. And now he's connected to other characters that I've just unlocked over the summer, so now I want to go read about them. And I think that's when this game really started to turn for me into something that is just going to passively sit on my Switch for a few months and go away to, I think I'm enjoying this. And then over the summer, I unlocked the characters through the season event of Regis, Catti Brie, Wulfgar, Pwent, and Artemis. And they've started to grow on me also. Mainly Artemis and Catti Brie, who became 2 of my highest dealing damage heroes over the summer. And if you're looking for an idle game and you don't think you'll ever be in D&D, I'd still recommend this one. It has enough inputs and variety that it's not going to get stale very quickly. It's just free enough not to require any in-game purchases if you want a truly free in-game experience. And thanks to the game's seasons and different events, it certainly has longevity to keep you interested. As long as you expand your character roster, it gives you a variety to build multiple teams if you wanted. And to be honest, I found the characters I like, and to be honest, once I found the characters I liked, I started using them every chance I got to build my teams. It just made it more enjoyable to me. This game is made by Codename Entertainment, and it's been out for about 5 years now. It still gets regular updates. I've honestly never found a better idle game to this. And if we're being completely honest, if they reskin this game to a franchise that I was really into or had nostalgia for, like Gundam, Dragon Ball, Metabots, very unlikely due to Disney, but Star Wars, or something like that, I'd probably play the heck out of that version too, and probably be inclined to spend a lot more money on it if it was a franchise that I was really, really into. And seriously, none of those games that I know of have a really good idle format currently, and I think this would play very well to some of them, especially the Gundam and Metabots. Dragon Ball would be a little different since the individual characters change so much in their forms throughout the series. I don't know. Maybe Digimon would be really good for this, although they evolve also, so I don't know how that would work in this format. And clearly the people that make this game are really into D&D, and I've never played a D&D campaign, so I can't comment on how faithful of an experience this is. As an idle game, the story that I do read seems engaging enough. If you're looking for that element, it's just easy enough to skip if you're not looking for it and you just want to see the numbers get higher and higher as you level up and not get caught up in the small stuff. Also, it's something that I'll leave on my TV. And yes, you have the sounds of the battle, but the music has just become something that I've really enjoyed. This is the kind of game that you can sink a ton of time into without making a huge investment. And it's small enough of an investment that you can play in increments and still play your AAA titles at night. And just check this when you're on a bathroom break or before you crash for the night. When I downloaded it, I never thought it would stick around for more than a few days because it's a free game. But for what's worth, it's a free game. It's become a staple for me. And honestly, I've never thought about getting into D&D seriously. But after this game, Baldur's Gate 3 is something that truly interests me. And I never thought that would be something that's right in my wheelhouse. The idea of D&D has always seemed just overwhelming to me. But I think I might give that a shot now. But until I get to that game, I do need to go back and check on my current adventures, probably start them over and start another campaign. If you're looking for an idle game, I hope you check this one out. And until next time, catch you later.